All right, good morning. We're going to start today on the calculation part of our scaling our bedroom project. And we want to look at this worksheet that we're going to be working on today. So first of all, let's look at the top, the headings at the top for the room dimensions. The first column says feet in inches. Feet in inches. And you do not have to measure anything. You just have to go back to our packets, which I'll set down here. And you have all the dimensions for feet in inches right here. And so you're just simply going to take the measurements that you've already taken of your room in feet and inches and fill them in the correct box. The next column says inches, and if you come down on the front of your packet, you've already done the work to change your feet and inches into all inches. So that second column will be the three numbers that are in the second set on your packet. The next column says 1/40th scale decimal. And that will be your tenths column in the next section when you've got all of your scale work done to the 1/40th scale and you've rounded to the nearest tenth. So that's your third column. Again, you've already done that work. Then the fourth column on the worksheet says 1/40th scale fraction. Well, the fraction is 16ths, and so that is your second column of your table. So all of your table work here will go into this column here. So now we have the top filled in, and you can do that neatly at your own pace. We're going to go down and look at the work we have to do with this today. Well, so the first part says the equation, and I've listed for you all of the equations for area, perimeter, surface area, and volume. These are rectangular prisms, our room is, so all of us have the same equation. The real world applications, when will we use these things? And we really will use these a lot in real life. Whenever you're finding the area of something, that's like the carpet. When I got new carpet for this classroom last year, we had to measure the area of this room because we wanted to cover the entire space, the entire inside space. If it's just going to be single units like perimeter, that would be like when we picked out this kind of interestingly green colored molding. I want you to know that's not the color I picked, but this molding would be the perimeter of the room. It goes all the way around the outside edge. When you would use surface area, it would be when you go to buy the gallons of paint that are going to do the walls, and if we were going to paint the ceiling and the floor. So square units for surface area would be how we would figure out how much paint to buy, or if we wanted to wallpaper a wall. Also, cubic units. You can use cubic units or volume when you're either filling something with water, or in this setting of a room, it would be about to estimate heat cost. The volume of the room would help us estimate how much it's going to cost to heat this room. So there are lots of real-life applications for all of these measurements we're going to be taking. The solutions for your room in inches, use inches column. All right, so let's look up what I mean about that. So on a lined sheet of paper, you're going to do all of these equations. Then you're just going to put the solutions or the answers to those equations in this box. And it says use the inches column. So that's the column that's right here. You're going to use the numbers that are in the inches column. The second section says solution your model in inches using the 1/4 scale decimal column. Okay, so the decimal column, 1/40th scale, would be right here. So first you'll do it for the real room, and then you'll do it for your model room. Now, one thing you should find when you do this is they should be, remember, still at 1/40th scale. So we'll be talking a little bit about what that means. How accurate this model is to the original is how I grade this. When you get done, I should be able to see a relationship to the 1/40th scale between your real room and your model, how close those are. All right, next, the extra challenge, and this is if you'd like an 8 on this IB assessment. So the extra challenge, can you turn your room solutions that are in inches back correctly into feet and inches? So you remember, you're going to have to use that process we used originally when you find proportions with your 16ths of an inch, but now you're going to turn them back into feet and inches. So you're going to have to use 12ths, right? So you'll do the proportion work there, and we'll see if you can correctly go back from having all of your solutions that are currently in inches back into feet and inches. See if you can do that. And that's your 8. Are there any questions about this worksheet or what's expected here? Okay, then after you get this worksheet done, we're gonna move to the design center. And in the back, I have one set up as an example for you on a large sheet of white paper. We are going to be using this sheet, the picture of our bedrooms, and then our actual models. And if you look at the ones that were done last year, you can see they took colored paper and put it behind like picture frames or to try to make it look neater. I do have one pack of construction paper back there you're welcome to be creative with. You do have to have the following things required on your display. Your name is in the back. This calculation sheet is on the front neatly, along with the picture of your bedroom, along with the model of your room that you built. Any questions about what's required? Okay, so process. Today, finish building, finish calculation page, start display. They're due by the end of the hour tomorrow in the hallway, completely done. Any questions? Yes?
For our work for the solution sheet, do
Yeah.
you staple it to the back of the packet?
You do staple it to the back of the packet. Okay, so now, we talked about everything having to be done by the end of Tuesday. Let's check out what's still left to be done in the packet. So go ahead and turn your packet page over, and you're gonna find a worksheet there that needs to be done. So this is about calculating surface area and volume, and you might wanna do this one before you do your calculation pages with your model, just to make sure that you are aware of the patterning that happens. So you have the dimensions, surface area, and then what do you notice about surface area? Volume, what do you notice about volume? Turn the page. Okay, and on the back of this page, if you would like to use this for your place to do your calculations instead of lined paper, that's fine. I did set that up there for you, using real-world measurements, and then using the scale factor. Now, here's how you can check if you're going to get an A, because I know you all like that. So if you take your model's measurements and times it by 40, you should get your real-world measurements. If it's off by how much it's off, will be how much you're out of scale. Does that make sense? If you take your area and times it by 40 squared, because area is square units, you can see how close you come to your original. Surface area would also be by 40 squared, because it's square units. Volume would be by 40 cubed. If you take your model, times it by 40 cubed, you should get the room's volume. So that's how I'm gonna check your work. I have a degrees that'll allow you to be off, but how close you are to this scale of 40 will depend on whether you get an A, a B, a C, etc. in your mathematics, okay? All right, and your answers from group 1 and 2 should match. Again, I have the formulas here for you in case you were unclear about that. So the rest of this packet also needs to be done by the end of the day Tuesday. If everybody finishes everything, then you do have front row waiting for you, as well as that quizzes. That quizzes are very important to get done. They're about scale factor and they're about surface area.